Now, the rift between Harry and Meghan and the rest of the royal family here in the UK continues to rage on, with some calling for Harry and Meghan to be stripped of their Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles. However, top royal commentator Petronella Wyatt said this week that revoking the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's titles would elevate their brand as they'd become the Prince and Princess of Sussex. For reaction to this growing royal drama, I'm delighted to welcome Dr. Carol Lieberman. The whole family are going to take the surname Sussex now. And whilst it's permissible for the couple to be Harry and Meghan Sussex, for the children to take that surname is unconstitutional and against royal protocol. The kids will be known, Carol, as Archie and Lilibet Sussex, but in fact, they are Archie and Lilibet Mountbatten-Windsor. Why do you think this couple are so keen on this Sussex branding?
They are getting desperate, ever more desperate. You know, I think Meghan thought that when they would go back to the United States, that she and Harry would be very popular. You know, they made all these plans about charities and so on. And she thought that they'd be able to do this just by carrying over the royal titles that they have and the history that they have and not doing any work as royals. But and they are finding that, in fact, their popularity has gone down tremendously. So she's desperate now to cling to anything royal.
Well, Carol, it's crazy double standards that they've spent the last few years attacking the monarchy, attacking the royal family, attacking the United Kingdom and the media, and yet they cling for dear life to that royal title. It's hypocrisy, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It's not really about, it's just about her daily plan or her goal. You know, she wants to be on the face on everything every day. And Harry is sort of an appendage. You know what's interesting? I'm sure you've noticed this. How she's always like pawing him, and he doesn't do that to her. It's like she needs him, you know, and that's sort of symbolic. She needs the royalty.
Carol, obviously Meghan Markle has a case to answer, but shouldn't Harry take responsibility too? He's a grown man. He's the guy that left Britain. He's the guy that threw his family under the bus. He wrote Spare. He participated in the Oprah Winfrey interview. He did the podcast and the Netflix series. Do you think he's getting off lightly and that maybe Meghan is taking too much of the blame?
Well, I certainly think he does play a role. He does have to take some of the blame. You know, it's unfortunate. I mean, she allowed him to bring out some of the anger and resentment that he had towards the royal family ever since his mother died. So, yes, he is not blameless. But she is the one who's perpetuating more. I think Harry is beginning, you know, since King Charles was diagnosed with cancer, I think he began actually a little while ago, but I think it's sinking in now how much he misses his family and how they're not going to be around forever to be you know, spoken to or disregarded or you know, dissed actually in all the ways that they have been doing that. And he's realizing, you know, wait a second. And so I think, I mean, it might be at some point that he would go back to the UK and that he would have to divorce Meghan. I don't think that that's happening just quite yet, but there are some stories about that he's talking about wanting to be more in the UK and she doesn't want to. So I'll have to see with that. But yes, it's sad. I mean, he's just like actually he saw at the Queen's funeral. That was when it began. You could see his face that he was feeling not only lonely, but sort of sad that he hadn't been around with her longer.
Carol, as America's psychiatrist, what's your appraisal of their relationship, Harry and Meghan? Clearly, it's a formidable business partnership and they are parents to two small children. But do you think they love each other?
I think that at least Harry... I think Meghan saw him as her claim to being a princess or perhaps queen. Not she doesn't, find him lovable in some ways, but I think her manipulations really took front and center. And Harry was, I wrote a book called Bad Girls, Why We Love Them, How to Live with Them, and Bad Girls, Why Men Love Them, and How Good Girls Can Learn Their Secrets. And she fits into that. She manipulated him. She trapped him. But then the surprise was that it wasn't just about that in fact, he did have some resentment towards his family. And so she was his mouth. She was his mouthpiece. She was the way he'd be able to express that.
Well, Carol, last but not least, Prince William is currently looking after his wife as she recuperates from a major operation and 2 weeks in hospital. It's been reported that Princess Catherine has seen a different side to William. Could this shocking health scare bring them closer together?
Yes, I think that they are really pretty close. But yes, it's like people tend to think sometimes that their significant other or a family member is going to live forever. And when something like this happens, it's kind of shocking. And yes, I think it did sort of wake him up and take him away from just spending as much time on work things, on royal family duties, and realizing that he does need to spend more time with her.
Carol, it's always a thrill and a privilege to have you on the show. We'll catch up soon. My thanks to America's psychiatrist. Do check her out on Twitter and YouTube, and her website, Dr. Carol Lieberman.